I bet you if I sent a survey out to all SUBTA members that said 5 tricks for decreasing churn, take this survey. I actually need to do this. I don't even know why I just thought of it. I literally just thought of it right now. Hey everybody, welcome back to another No Excuses with Chris G. I'm here today with Trudy Armand. Trudy, thanks so much for being on today.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Of course. So Trudy, you have Her Mind Box, is that right?
Yes.
And you're on today because you applied and wanted to ask me some questions. And as you know, I love helping entrepreneurs. So excited to have you on here. And I'm hopeful that I could be of some help. And for all of you that are listening, remember, if you go to SUBTA.com/ChrisG, you can apply to be on the show. Spend 20, 30 minutes with me, fire off as many questions as you can. And I'm hopeful, as always, to be of help. So Trudy, again, thanks so much for being on. Go ahead and let's start. Tell me your first question. And actually, no, before we start, tell everybody about your box.
Okay. So our box is Her Mind, and my mom and I are the co-founders of the box. And we started this box in loving memory of my aunt. Her name was Her Mind, and she passed away around the end of 2019. And so this has been my way of kind of grieving, right? And the whole concept of the box is that we create a sisterhood, and we remind women to practice self-care, and we also try to curate primarily from women-owned businesses to keep that continuum of supporting women and reminding them to practice self-care. And so it's that whole thing works for me as it's kind of selfish because it makes me feel good that I'm doing this in loving memory of my aunt.
Yeah. One, I'm sorry for your loss. And I think it's great when you hear about the stories where businesses come from, right? So it's and looking at a way to grieve, like you mentioned, but also something good that comes from this, right? And who knows, maybe the number of lives that might get saved because of something like this. So tell me a little bit more about what might come in one of these boxes, and when did you launch?
We launched in July. We actually launched right in time for my aunt's birthday. And as far as what comes in the box, so we actually have 2 sizes. We have a mini and a deluxe, and the mini is 3 to 5 items. The deluxe is 5 to 8 items. And it varies from skincare type products, no real makeup per se, but skin care, candles, incense. We had snacks in our box for July, which was our fresh start box. So it was kind of starting the year, in a healthier way. We had tea and diffusers and other things. So it's all about whatever the theme is for that month and what works with that theme to remind women to take care of themselves.
This is monthly?
It is.
Good. Great. So tell me what your first questions you have for me.
So my first question was asking you to kind of take a look at our website and see if there's any way that we could improve. I designed the site myself on Shopify, and we use Bold for our payment processing. We used to use Recharge, but now we're using Bold. So just wondering, as an expert in sub boxes, looking at it through those lens, what do you think of the site?
Yeah, for sure. So I think initially there's a couple things, and I got a chance to peek at this about 5 minutes before we started.
Okay.
One thing is I wanted to be clear around what differentiates your subscription versus somebody else. Now, you do under the About the Her Mind box, you mention and you highlight in bold women-owned businesses. Is that what it is for every single item that goes in there? Is that the goal, is to make sure that every single item is from a woman-owned business?
It is our goal. We do find that sometimes the durable goods, those items are more difficult to source from women-owned businesses, but the rest of the box generally is.
So primarily from women-owned businesses, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think we need to make that clear in the hero image. So one, you've got an initial hero image that says sold out January box, right? With no call to action of join the wait list.
Okay.
So imagine if a consumer comes to the site, they might immediately leave because they're like, oh, this is sold out. I can't even buy this. So I think we need to make sure we add a call to action that says join the wait list for the February box, or really the call to action would be January sold out, sign up for February.
Okay.
Your hero image has no call to action. You don't have a call to action until the second slider, which they may or may not even get to, right?
Okay.
So that's my first suggestion. The second part too is I want to be, here you're giving a description. I think that we want to just like clear like 5 to 8 full size deluxe products primarily from women-owned businesses, and you've got to buy now. So the one thing I didn't like about your site was when you go to buy now, and let's say I click the Hermine, you're saying buy one or subscribe and save to save 3%. It's not very much. Right? Like it's 3% just not enough. Like you want to get somebody to subscribe. Like nobody's subscribing for 3%. They may pick to do that someday, but like it's just not big enough of a discount. I'm also not a believer of selling one-off boxes because you're building this business to get subscribers. If you want one-offs, you just build an e-commerce site. So I wouldn't even allow that. I would only allow that for previous boxes, for leftovers at a higher price. So for example, like I feel like your box, and I don't know all the metrics, but just looking at your price, the $44.95 doesn't make any. It's just a number that doesn't make sense. It's either got to be at 49 or 39. If you can go to 39, like that would be the best case scenario. So I would have sign up for $39 a month. Want to purchase previous boxes, put them at $59. You have to make it a no-brainer to subscribe.
Okay.
Right now, it's like, of course, I'm going to just try one instead of saving 3%. And if I don't like it, then I'm not going to buy another one. If I'm so on it, I'm not going to buy another one. And if I love it, I might go subscribe, but then I got to remember to do that next month. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus they've signed up, they're a member. If they're so on the first one, they might give your second one a try. If they love the first one, they're guaranteed going to get the next one. And if they didn't like it, then they'll cancel. Does that make sense?
So are you saying that with the way that Bold is set up, that the only option, because right now they have the option to go month to month, are you saying that that shouldn't be an option month to month? Or
it should be the only option.
Okay, I see what you're saying. All right.
But I'd have a shop on the site that had previous boxes.
I do. It's called the Her Shop.
Okay, then that's where I would list the one-offs.
Okay.
But when they're going through the checkout process, I would not give them an option to buy one box. Okay. I mean, are you seeing that happen more?
No, actually. The only time we see the one-off boxes is if people want to send gifts. And even then, some people subscribe to a 3-month subscription for gifts.
So even more reason to not have it. Like you people are picking it anyway. So like let's just leave it to subscribers, right?
Okay, all right.
I think that if you were to start to scale, that you would start to see people would be buying one-offs and not getting subscribers. I mean, that goes against like most the theory of any sort of subscription company. That makes sense.
I see.
Now it's one thing, what you've mimicked is like a depleting product sort of style, right? Like if I want to buy a skincare line, it's like I'm going to buy a one-off or I'm going to subscribe and save because I'm going to get the same thing every month. You're a Discover Delight subscription, so we want to get them into a subscription monthly.
Okay.
And then going back to the homepage, I mean, I like your step 1, step 2, step 3. Maybe try to put that verbiage down a little bit. I like that you got an unboxing on the front. That's really good. It gets people to see some, like not just testimonial, but like somebody that has it going through the box, getting excited about it. That's not like you, right? It's like somebody else. So I think that's really good. I like at the bottom that, you know what? You know at the bottom how you've got September, October, November, December?
Yes.
You should let them click that. I just tried to, and then it should expand it and let me see what was in there.
Okay.
And I know that that'll work because when we had the gentleman's box, we used to run a program on our site called Hotjar. Have you heard of Hotjar?
Yes, from you.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so we literally saw everybody was clicking those pictures. It was the same thing you had. Like ours was just an image, and everybody was clicking on it. And then we're like, wait a minute, everybody's clicking on these. So then we turned them into click, and then it would go to the product page, and if it was for sale, people would buy it.
I see. Okay.
And then that's where you can sell some previous boxes, and at least like give somebody an idea of what they're getting, right? Because people that are getting to that point have a pretty high level of interest.
Okay.
And then, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Back to the hero image. You had said that I needed a call to action on the hero image, but there was something else you were going to say about that. What, because I think you were talking about the fact that, we source from women-owned businesses and so on. Were you saying that should be clear in the hero image?
Like a headline there. I'm sorry. That's like, the headline being like her mind box, carefully curated products from women-owned businesses, right? Like something along those lines.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thanks.
Yeah. That way it's like the first thing I'm reading. Like what you don't want is somebody to go to your site and have any sort of confusion as to what it is.
Okay.
You want to hit them off the rip, right? Like, let's look at a competitor to you. A competitor to you is going to be like FabFitFun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Or like CauseBox as well.
CauseBox, yep. So FabFitFun's header image. Get the winter box, full size products, full size premium products delivered 4 times a year. Okay. Let's look at CauseBox. I think that theirs is. So
we're the social good aspect to it, which is also something that we want to continue.
Discover the best socially conscious products at up to 70% off. So I know what I'm doing, right? I'm getting some product. Immediately I see that hero image and I know.
Okay.
You see, they got this look good, feel good, do good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We had gentlemen's boxes, look good, feel good, be good. We were like the ones that got that from us. we were around before they said it's funny. So yeah, those are what I would initially do to your website. I'd also, and I'm sure you've heard me talk about this a ton, but I would add an exit intent strategy.
Okay.
Have you heard me talk about that?
I have.
So yours is easy, like build an ebook around woman self-care, like things that you can do around, like, right, like 5 things you can do to help with like self-care or like whatever that may be, right? And like have it be a little ebook that if they put their email in there, they can download it.
Okay.
And then now you get them into an email drip series.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Of course.
So I think the next question kind of flows, right? So from that, and those things by themselves may help with this, but as far as conversions and helping to increase conversions that kind of keep pace with the traffic that we're seeing.
Oh, different ways to increase conversion, you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
What's your conversion right now? Do you know?
Still working that through.
Okay, so using analytics, one that's going to be really important, we want to be able to measure. And so one thing is we want to look at top of the funnel traffic and we want to find out when they're leaving. So using Google Analytics, we're going to find out, are people leaving from the homepage most of the time? Are they getting to checkout and they're leaving? A lot of that's going to identify like what sort of changes we need to make. So, again, one thing that I think is important is if I click buy now, and then you're immediately giving them 2 options. Do you find one's being purchased more than the other?
Yes, the deluxe box, hands down. We have, and the other box is becoming somewhat of just, a pain, because even when we fulfill that box, then that person doesn't resubscribe because they feel like they missed out on the other box.
What do you think I'm going to tell you to do?
To get rid of the.
you got it. Just get rid of it. Like, let's go. Like my initial suggestion to you is like build the deluxe box at $39.99 a month and make that the only option.
Okay.
That's going to help with conversion. Now I go to the final page. I think that add purchase with Apple Pay. I'm seeing more and more brands do that, and I've probably made like 20% more purchases on my phone because all I had to do was double click the side and then like purchased it, right? So I'm a big advocate of that. I'm a big advocate of PayPal Pay as well, because when somebody, like, think about the times when people are potentially shopping, they're laying in bed, they're laying on the couch, right? And like sometimes your like credit card is not necessarily right next to you. And I don't want any excuse for someone to not make a purchase, because I have literally not made purchases because my credit card was like 20 feet away and I didn't want to get to it.
I've heard you say that, and that's why we made sure PayPal was definitely an option. I heard that, and I've told my business partner about it. I'm like, listen, we don't want them to have to move.
Yeah, good.
Apple Pay I'll check on, yeah.
So I see you got more payment options on the bottom, but I want you to make that more obvious. Like, just have all the options.
Okay.
Oh, you got Google PayPal and Amazon Pay. Do you have credit card pay? You do?
All the different credit cards, yes.
So we just need to make it a little bit more obvious. So like what I would do is just like let them click add to cart. And then on the next page, it should say checkout, and it should have like Apple Pay, Google Pay. Like you have Google and PayPal, but then you should have Apple Pay, and then you should have credit card, and whatever one they click is like the option that's going to give them on the following page. Because I know this for sure, because I have another brand that I consult for, and the first two options were Apple Pay and Amazon Pay, and you had to scroll down to see the credit card, and they would call and say, I don't have those. How do I buy this? It's like, wait a minute, like you didn't scroll down, like not even
those
like
those are the given. Those are the given. We were giving you the other thing.
Yeah, so it's like, wow, that's how you learn these things. Like, wait a minute, we need to make sure they see that there's all these options, let them pick, and then take them, direct them. So that'll help with conversion as well. And then, there's there's different ways you could do it. Like you could play some of the games of like limited stock, like 39 left in stock. Like you could have like a number that's a ticker. You sold out last one, so it's like there's companies that put timers. You also, I think you need to add a add-on at checkout, and Bold does this. So we want to upsell them like a mystery box at checkout to help you move some previous inventory. I mean, that's like my go-to glory move. That's worked for like, I don't know if it has not worked for somebody. Like I've probably gotten more feedback about that tip than any other tip I've ever given. Was add a mystery box at checkout, increase LTV. The consumer's engaged with making a purchase. Like, let's get them to spend some more money.
Okay, perfect.
Of course.
Vigorously taking notes.
Of course.
So as far as again, as we talk about driving traffic and helping with conversions, the idea of using affiliates, right? So we signed up with ShareSale. Previous to that, we had an affiliate program as an app in Shopify where we had to recruit. So this with ShareSale, they're doing some of that recruiting for us. First question is, do you typically have an affiliate, an influencer agreement? I know there's the affiliate program and your terms and conditions and those things, but when you have influencers, do you have an agreement where the person was going to do this many posts or they're going to do X, Y, or Z? Do you have something like that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially anytime you're doing some sort of big collaboration, right, where you're paying them a decent amount of money, you want them to have the agreement on the number of posts. You want to approve the post before they put it out, right? And you want to make sure that you're agreed to terms, like when it's going to post by. Sometimes when you're working with some people where you're just sending them a box and they're posting on it, you don't need to necessarily agreement because they're only getting paid if they get conversions through ShareSale.
Right.
But you want to make sure that you're consciously checking to make sure everybody's posting.
Right.
And I'm really big on what YouTube's doing. I'm a much bigger believer on getting conversions through affiliate marketing with YouTube versus like Instagram.
Oh, really? Because you think the conversion rate is higher?
Well. The Instagram post doesn't let you put a link in the description. You just find it hard, and like think about like the human behavior on Instagram. Like I wish I could pull a stat on this, but I bet you most people look at the picture and they don't even read the comment below. Like they're just looking at the picture. Like just like think about what you do, right? And so I think with YouTube, people that are watching a YouTube channel, like they're engaging with the person that's on the channel and like listening to them. Mm-hmm. Right? Instagram is like photos, like with some words, and most people are probably not reading the words. Yeah. I bet. I mean, I don't know if there's a stat. I'm sure there's a stat. Well, but I can see that you see more success.
Yeah.
Even on Facebook posts, right? Like you have a link at least somebody's clicking on.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with your take on YouTube because you're on that channel, right? And you're watching the person, and usually generally if they're interesting, you watch them through the end. Versus with Instagram, you're kind of scrolling. Let's see what gets my attention.
Like scrolling, liking, scrolling. Like you're not even reading. People are like looking at it so sparingly, and you can't have links in there. And so I don't love it. I mean, I love when people are posting hashtags of your brand and getting engaged and you're building a community. And I think it's, at certain points, there's times where you will get some organic conversion from it, but I just don't like putting $200 behind it.
So do you believe in having your own YouTube channel that you then use?
You can.
Okay.
For sure. I mean, anytime you can create content, now you're in a position where you can create a lot of content around self-care, right? If you can do that, I mean, it's very, very, very important, right? Like, I'm like living proof of this. I'm doing all of this content and I do it for free and I spend hours, and I then get calls from some big brands that then want to hire me to consult them on their building their subscription, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So for the startups, I know what it's like to be a startup, and if I can give as much advice as possible for free, I'm going to. And the benefit to me is, one, I get a lot of excitement out of like getting an email from somebody like yourself, which you've done before, message me saying thank you. Like, I love that. And then two, when there's a really big brand that has a huge marketing budget and they can afford something to pay for some consulting, that's where I see my benefit, right? For you, it's give out as much advice possible, because from the bottom of your heart, you want to help women with self-care. And then over time, doesn't happen overnight. This could be years. I mean, consistent content is key. People will start to follow you, listen to you, and then they're going to buy your product. And the biggest key is that you do this with no expectation, that you do it because that's what you believe in and you want to help others, which I believe that's the case for you. That's why we started this. And then naturally that stuff will come back.
Okay.
But you can even start small if you like don't want to like. I know what it's like to be early stage startup where you like don't have all the time in the world, right? Start small. Start like Facebook Live. Start recording yourself and just posting it on Facebook. Like, instead of going through everything with YouTube, right? Facebook is probably a good audience for you. What's your demographic, like your age demographic of your consumer at this point?
We are 35 to 55.
So like, no brainer. Facebook is the target. Like, I would be all over Facebook. And then write down this. It's called repurpose.io. It's a website. With that website, you can actually do one recording, and then it'll repurpose it for YouTube, repurpose it for Facebook. It'll repurpose it for a podcast.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
It'll repurpose it into 1-minute clips for you, so then you can post them on Instagram. So it's a really good tool that I know a lot of people use.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right. And then how much are we good on time?
Yeah, go ahead. One more question. Sure.
Okay. So as far as negotiating with brands, right? I know you've talked about this a lot, right? As you build, these partnerships, and we're really big on building partnerships with our vendors. Conveying to them the benefit, and when you're, smaller and we're, growing, to convey the benefit. And also, do you broach the subject of affiliates for us? So for example, they're in the box, people are going to potentially go to them to buy more when they like the product. Do you talk about that with them, especially the smaller vendors, perhaps the benefits of doing business with you? And
so one thing that we did is we put together a deck where we basically like added up all the impressions that their product's going to get, right? So the marketing awareness doesn't just come from being included in the box, but also on average, how many people post a picture of your box? How many impressions do those get on average? We have 24 YouTubers or 24 influencers that are posting our box or doing a review on it, which on average, they're getting 1,000 views each. So that's 24,000 views to that product. So we say to the brand, hey, look, this is going to, 1,000 subscribers, but it's also getting over 50,000 impressions through all of our social channels. Now, if they're giving you their product for free, or you're paying, like if they're paying cost, like it's a low cost marketing tool, like it's a zero cost marketing tool. Hey, give me 1,000 units. They cost you $3. I'm going to pay you $3 a unit. I'm going to get you 55,000 impressions for free. That's the pitch. And that's how you sort of maximize that conversation. That's sort of how you maximize that exposure and give yourself the best opportunity to put more products in your box.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Of course. I'm happy to answer one more. And if anybody listening, if you want to bring out a question, also a Facebook user, Trudy posted something. I don't know if you saw there, but they just mentioned making sure that if you want to put previous boxes in the header, like title it maybe previous boxes. But I don't mind how you have it titled, which is her shop, because it's cool. It's sort of like branded to you. So you could put them in there and then always play around with changing that header name too.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
But yeah, fire off me one more question before we jump off.
Surveys. So getting feedback, I know you've talked about this a bit too, and how to get feedback. And sending out surveys to people. We use Klaviyo for our email tool, and then getting feedback. So of course, as you know, the most engaged folks are the ones that are likely to answer you.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we encourage those that that what is what's the thing, the range, the
detractors?
Score, yes, the detractors. Yes. So, you have the people in the middle of the road and the ones maybe on the other side that aren't going to answer you. Do you have any tips or tricks on how you get them answered?
You just brought up a really good point. What's very important is that not only are you surveying your current customers, but you need to survey the ones that left. They're the ones that are going to give you some really good info too, right? And understanding why. So one thing that we've done, you could do it a couple ways. One thing that I've seen work in the past is like a steep discount on a product or like a previous box. Like take this survey, get 50% off this box, send it to everybody that's ever been a member. Because they might just want to buy one. Like everybody likes a deal, everybody likes a sale, but you want the feedback. You also could come up with like another ebook that's like good and say, take the survey and I'll let you download this free ebook. And just don't make the survey so long. That's where I think people get caught up, is like the survey's too long. And like, we don't have time in the day. Like people don't have time. We're working, like we're doing a million things. We're on social media. I'm not taking a survey for like anything, but like, if it's like 5 questions and there's something interesting, it also depends on your demographic. Like knowing what they like also helps you identify something good to give them, right? Like if I bet you if I sent a survey out to all SUBTA members that said 5 tricks for decreasing churn, take this survey. Like I bet you I would get more. I actually need to do this. I don't even know why I just thought of it. I literally just thought of it right now. I actually bet that they'll get more responses than take the survey for a $5 Starbucks gift card. I'm dead serious.
I can't wait to see you test that one.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to tell my team, like, hey, Jen Klein, if you're listening, she's our head of marketing. Let's try that, because it's true. Like I'm not like busy entrepreneurs. I'm not taking any survey for a $5 Starbucks gift card. Like, no, there's no chance. Like, even if it's like 3 questions, I'm like immediately my head's going to like, all right, I got to give my email address. Maybe they need my address. Like I don't have time to answer this. But if I'm getting something of actual value that's going to increase my business and pay bigger dividends, I'm going to do it. So for you, it's giving the consumer some really good value, something that's interesting to them, that falls in line with your brand to answer the survey. That might work. I would try it.
Yeah, we've done surveys before, and we did get responses, and we did incentivize them with a gift in their next box. But it did work. But I got the people that were really excited about the box. And so again, it's those people that I really need to know what happened. Those are the ones I'm curious about. But again,
give them an ebook for the ones that left, like everybody else, like an ebook about self-care, and then let them take it and see if they take the survey. You literally have nothing to lose, right? Like it doesn't work. It's like, it's not wasted time, but I think it could work.
Okay, perfect. I'll try that. Thanks.
All right. Amazing, Trudy. Thanks so much for being on. Thanks for all your support. I know you watch all my videos, so I appreciate that a ton. And I wish you tons of success. And if anybody listening, as always, if you go to SUBTA.com/Chris G, you can apply to be on the show with me, and I'll answer any of the questions you have. Thank you guys so much for watching. And Trudy, I hope you have a wonderful week and good luck with everything.
Thank you. Take care, Chris.